I look forward to Tuesday mornings, and I'm just so grateful that I'm here breathing. I mean, God is good, right? CD, Dan Harker, Tyler, all you guys coming in right away. So good to see you. Put in the chat where you're at, because remember, referrals is the name of the game. And we definitely want to get those referrals going, because this is a community that is absolutely growing. I'm so excited to see it. Last week, we almost hit 3,000 people on this call, and everybody coming on with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. It's good. I can't see you there yet. I can see all the people on Zoom, and I'm looking at all their great faces or their beautiful pictures. If you're in California, I don't blame you. I'd put a picture up also, because it's 6:30 there in the morning, and you're probably getting ready as you listen to this. So last week, and I do apologize, I forget the person that asked, what's the difference between frequency and consistency? And so, Kelly, if that shows up in the chat, let's honor that person, because I love to honor the people when they ask or when they say something. In fact, we should. That's an integrity thing. If someone gives a quote, you always honor them with that quote. You never take the quote away from them if you're a person of integrity. So let's go through. Chase gave it. Well, of course. She always asks great questions. That's so good to know. Thank you for letting me know that. And thank you for the question, because see, it got me thinking all week. I love just that thinking process of how many agents are prospecting frequently. I mean, they do it, then they stop, they do it, then they stop. Consistency is they do it every day to where it builds such a habit that you almost feel like something's wrong if you're not at 9 o'clock picking up the phone, or if you're not prospecting every day. Mary Tennant and I were speaking about when we were team leaders, and laughing about how I said, if I didn't recruit one day, I felt like something was out of place. It had become such a habit because of an agent prospecting. Well, as a team leader, did that as well. And she said the same thing. I'd go home and feel like the whole day had just gone downhill because I hadn't done my job, because that was the main thing to do, because we had built a habit. I also started thinking frequency is how often do you do it? Consistency is how dependable you are. Frequency is driven by motivation, and consistency is driven by commitment. Frequency does create some momentum and then drops off, yet consistency creates habit. Frequency, you can be intense, and it takes intensity when you're doing it. Yet consistency means that you're just being steady. Frequency is a short-term win, and consistency produces long-term success. And the story that came to my mind that I went home and told Tony, I said, it's the tortoise and the hare all over again. One of the greatest stories of all times. That hare that had frequency. Man, he'd run and then he'd rest, and he'd run and he'd rest, and he'd run and he'd rest. But that tortoise, he just was consistently going. Slow, yet consistent. And of course, the tortoise wins to teach us the difference between frequency and consistency. Okay,
Dianna,
we're reaching.
slow and steady wins the race.
Yes, steady wins the way. Absolutely. And we ask today for you to think about maybe some beliefs that aren't helping you, some beliefs that are holding you back. Because, see, we can teach scripts and dialogues. And by the way, Sales Mastery is coming up again in August. And Kelly, you can put that in the chat. That would be consistently doing it over and over and over again until it internalizes inside of you. And as I said this last time, we learned a lot by literally having people do the script and going through the tonality and having them listen back and helping them to understand where they're swinging up, where they're swinging down, where they're going too slow, too fast. It was fabulous to help people. And a lot of that came from their beliefs. See, our beliefs are in us because it's a thought that we have over and over again. A thought is just a thought. Yet the more you have that thought, it becomes a limiting belief. And earlier today, I was talking with Nicole as we were setting things up. And of course, my little consistency things, right? Which one is larger? Well, that's kind of like what we do in our mind. What do we make larger? And then we change it and we can make it small again. Yet when I said this, look, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change, you can tell they're exactly the same size. Or you can do it this way and see they're exactly the same size. Yet, what do we do in our minds? We do things that convert things to where they shouldn't be. We make them larger than they are, or we diminish what we do well. And both of these are limiting beliefs. If we diminish what we do well, we're limiting ourselves. A limiting belief that we believe that isn't good about ourselves, well, we diminish ourselves. So first we got to identify the lie, because it is a lie. Whatever you say can be true or a lie. Then we trace it back. Where did it come from? Who told me that? Or did I just make it up myself, right? And then expose the cost. How much is that belief actually costing us? That's a big one. We reframe that belief into an affirmation. Now it's going to liberate us. And we have to say that affirmation over and over and over again, because that neural pathway, the first time, is very thin. And the more we say it, the more that neural pathway starts to grow. And the bigger it grows, the more we take it in. Now, the other part is when we do it enough, we start instilling that new narrative into our neuroplasticity and into our minds and into our hearts. So we identify the lie, we trace it back, we explore the cost of it, we reframe and make an affirmation of it, and then we allow it to become part of us. And as Jim Rohn used to say, an affirmation is false until you start believing it yourself. See, and that's why a lot of people don't like affirmations. For those of you who have read my book, and let's get some questions going here as I speak, I talk about the marine biologist, and it's taken from The Road Less Traveled by Scott Peak. And he talks about this marine biologist that takes the small bait fish and put into a tank and a shark. And of course, the shark immediately eats all the bait fish. And he does that for a few days, and the shark loves it because it's getting all this food fed to it. And then he puts a glass plate between the bait fish and the shark. Now, this glass is thick enough that the shark cannot break it. And the shark keeps bumping into that glass over and over again, not being able to get to food. Well, the more he does this, eventually the shark does not even go against the glass, doesn't even go after the bait fish. He removes the glass, puts the bait fish in. They're swimming all around. They're swimming right next to the shark, and the shark will not eat one of them. Why? Because that belief that he's going to bump into something is so strong that he won't even eat. Now, eventually, of course, they feed the shark. It doesn't die, for all of you who are all concerned about what happened to the shark. Yet it's a very good thing for us to think about, because that's what we're doing to ourselves every day when we have those limiting beliefs. And I know I've had them. I've had to fight those demons because, see, I think if you're going to be attacked, think about this. If you're supposed to be wonderful, terrific, fantastic, and as my faith believes, we've all been given talents that we're supposed to multiply, and we have an enemy that's against us and doesn't want us to multiply those talents, what are they going to do? They're going to attack our identity. And there are people out there that will attack your identity because they know if they can destroy your identity, they can absolutely destroy you from being a competitor of theirs. Don't let people attack your identity. More importantly, don't let yourself attack your identity. And when I speak to you, I speak to myself as well. There's limiting beliefs and there's liberating beliefs. Mistakes should be avoided and hidden. That's a limiting belief. Mistakes are how I learn better and I can get a return on my mistakes. That's a liberating way of thinking. Oh, I can't find the right people to do the job. I hear that a lot. Well, that's a limiting belief. I know specifically what I'm looking for and I'm going to go after it. And it may take me a few to find it, yet I will find it. That's a liberating belief. So let's get into some of these. Kelly, some of the people actually reached out and said, hey, I have this limiting belief. So let's go to some of those. Or if you're willing to raise your hand, now's the time to literally let us help you with that. And it's not about having faith, folks, because belief and faith are different. I want you to think about that. A belief and faith are different. So, oh, Chase, let's go.
I don't know if you called on me, I broke up. Good morning. So with me, I think my limiting beliefs come from comparison, yet not out, not external, maybe external, yet more like internal, like with my past self, my younger self, like you missed your window, it's too late, or you can't pivot now, or just kind of feeling like that window of opportunity closed. And so oftentimes when I struggle, it's from a perspective of rebuilding again. And if so, what does that even look like?
Now, first of all, I want to really commend you for stepping forward because a lot of people, our brain wants us to look good and be right. Doesn't want us to talk about these limiting things of us or these things, the mistakes that we've made. You'll see that with a lot of people. They just talk about all their successes. I actually feel like I teach more when I talk about my failures and my mistakes. And so, first of all, I do not know how old you are, and I don't need to know how old you are. I just know that you're much younger than me. And, I'm pretty much starting over myself. So I understand when you're starting over, all those things can come to your mind. Like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then we start comparing ourselves. That is the one thing that I think younger people do a lot, especially with Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. It has you comparing. Are my eyelashes long enough? Is my makeup right? Or do I have on the right clothes? Am I doing this right? And they're always after this perfectionism that never comes about because most of the things on Facebook from way back have been done with photography that they stretch the lady's neck, they make her cheeks go in, they bring her cheekbones up, they make her eyes bigger, her eyebrows look perfect. I mean, it's all trickery. Yet, I love the phrase that Tony says when you're comparing yourself to others, you're comparing your insides to their outsides. We don't know what they're going through. We don't know what mask they have on. And I love that commercial that shows the lady that has the little smiley face in front of her, and yet inside she's really hurting. Have you ever thought about that? That maybe the people that literally act the best are hurting the worst? We don't know that. I think everybody hurts a little bit in some way, and everybody has greatness inside of them. So, Chase, I know one thing about you. You're very good at finding the good in other people. Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
I know that about you. And yet, why is it, folks, that we sometimes won't find the good in ourselves? And so, I'd like for you, I don't know how many of you know Chase other than on this call, put in the chat something that you admire about Chase. I just want to do this for just a moment because, see, these are our beliefs about you. And as they put those in the chat, and we're going to take just a moment and then we're going to read those things because, see, she shows up, she's brave, she's authentic, she's bold, this present. She's brave, she's bold, she's the brightest in the room. As I say those things, what happens inside of you?
I feel really good. Thank you.
Well, you feel really good, yet do you take them in and believe them?
Yes.
I love that she always asks questions and is learning. She doesn't stop. She always is willing to speak up and shows her authentic self. She's my hero. I admire Chase's boldness and vulnerability to ask great questions. She's always looking to stretch. They're going so fast I can't read them all. Neat and ready to move forward. The
Dianna, she has
choices
an
for today.
abundant mindset.
Mindset. Yes, she's got a great mindset. Thank you for telling me that. I'm looking at them all and they're coming in so fast, Chase. I trust you're taking this in. So what I would love for you to do is literally just think about this as I read these, and then I know I'm going to tell you the words, and yet I know how the brain works. Trust me on this. After I read some of these, I just want you to say, thank you, I received them. Will you do that for me?
Yes.
Okay. She asks questions others are not willing to or afraid to ask. She's resilient, professional, talented, successful. She reminds me of the bold exercise with the paper on the back. She's consistent. She's abundant in mindset. I admire how she seeks clarity instead of quietly wondering.
Thank you. I received that. Thank you. I received that.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
I think sometimes here's what I'm going to recommend to everyone because I know people are hurting out there right now. People are frightened of money situations. People are frightened of, am I going to get a deal tomorrow? People are frightened of family situations. There's lots of things happening in this world. And because of that, we need each other now more than I think we have ever needed each other before. And we need each other to speak goodness into us, to believe things about us, because see, people grow into the conversations we create around them. Yet we create conversations in our own mind that we should not be creating. So I'm going to challenge everyone on this call, put it in the chat that if you want somebody to call you, put your phone number in there and let's get this thing going to where you would call and they would put their phone on okay, you're going to call, they're going to answer, you're going to say, I'm ready to do the exercise. And they hang up, you call back, and it goes to voicemail. And then all you do once that voicemail hits is you say, whatever it is, you are fantastic, you are consistent, you have an abundant mindset, I admire you, you are someone that asks great questions, you are, you are, you are. Because see, our mind will believe other people before it will believe ourselves. We need other people to speak into us. And Chase, you can borrow our belief until you find it yourself, because we need to do that in each other. And like I said, belief and faith are separate. We need to get the belief first, and then we can have the faith that follows. And so let's go. Tony, you got something for us here.
Yeah, I just want to say, Chase, I was in a business for 14 years before I figured it out. I was, and when I first got in real estate in 1975, my first year, I don't think I sold anything. I can't remember that far back. But it was until 1990 when I just started, I kept doing what you're doing, and that's learning and learning and learning. And finally, I found a system that worked, and my income went from, 100,000, 100 some thousand a year to $1 million in 4 years. I just kept searching for the system that worked for me. And so it was basically touching a database 35 times in 1990 when nobody was doing that. So take what you're learning, put it into a system, and then dedicate the system. Back in those days, we had nothing to do except mail. There was no other mail, phone, or door knock. So I came up with an idea, went to a guy, said, hold me accountable to mailing twice a month. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what I have to do. I'm doing this. And within a year, the next year, my business doubled. So get to it, find something that works, and absolutely commit to it. Never miss a day. We never missed a week. We never missed whatever, and it made everything work. So I was in the business before I figured it out. 15 years before I figured it out. Dianna figured it out in her first year.
No, well, you know what, Tony? I
Well,
love that you say that because a lot of people think, oh, she sold 104 homes her first year. Yet I had been selling since I was 5 years old. My dad had taught me how to sell. Yet think about it. How many of you could put your kids in a little red wagon and have them go, ooh, I'm so excited to go out with you again today, Mom? You don't think that there were problems? You don't think that there was a lot of crap to go through? You know, people go, oh, that sounds so cool. Put your kids in a little red wagon and go door to door. Oh my goodness, you're just singing all the way. No, sometimes they were crying all the way. I mean, it was not easy. And life is simple. It is not easy. It's simple to put your kids in a red wagon and go door to door. It is not easy to do it. Yet, are you willing to do the things that are not easy? Because, see, there is a statement that we had on our refrigerator, and then I'll get with you real quick. It says, I will be willing to do for the next 5 years what no one else is willing to do. So after that, I can do what no one else can do. I mean, I look at the countries I've been able to fly to, and Argentina is coming up here pretty quick. You know, I mean, it was because I was willing to do all the crap, so to speak, consistently, so I could do the greatness after. Greatness doesn't come first, crap comes first. Challenges come first, but you got to get through the molasses, through the mud, through the dirt to get to the greatness. So, I mean, the Dead Sea is dead, it keeps you afloat, and it's dead. I'd rather go swimming in something that allows me to go under and come back up. That's life. Under, come back up. Under, come back up. Because, see, if you're always on top, you're like the Dead Sea. You're just floating. Big deal. Polly, you're up. Let's go.
The crap comes first. I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Help
yeah,
me.
it's really professional, isn't it? The crap comes first.
Expand. Good morning, Diana. Thank you so much for doing these calls. I quite my expand a little bit more for me on faith versus belief.
You know, I'm glad that you brought that up because in my book, I talk about the fire walk and how, you know, you feel those hot coals. I mean, it's a kind of a cool or cold night. The grass is kind of wet. You can feel that heat rising. And as you're going up there, the gentleman goes, "You're ready, go." Yet two people before me, he pulls the lady aside and says, "You're not ready, go over here." And it's kind of like the board breaking. We can tell in their eyes if they're ready or not. Yet I was going, cool moss, I believe, I believe, I believe, right? And then I heard that, get over there, you're not ready. And instantly, I can't even begin to tell you all the things that started happening in my body. The fear started moving in. I had to get the belief that I would be okay to expand upon my faith that I would be okay. Because, see, when we have belief, and belief is about who we're being, it's a state of being. Faith is more than a thought. A belief is a thought, and faith is more than a thought. It's a deep conviction. It's something that we have. So, to me, a belief is who we're being. A faith is something that we have. I'm so convicted to my faith that I'll walk through fire for it, right? Does that help, or do I need to go a little bit further?
No, that's good. That's good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good, good.
Hey, Dianna, going back to faith, is faith something that you don't question?
Yes, faith is a trust that you have that no matter what somebody says, you just know it's true. A belief is a foundation. I believe this, and that's the foundation that faith is built up on in my world, right? So faith is more of a trust. A belief can go one way or the other. Faith is just steady. Faith is consistent. Beliefs can be what was the other word that you guys told me? Faith can be frequent, or beliefs can be frequent. Faith is consistent.
And I
Thank
think
you.
sometimes question because with, you can have faith, but being honest enough to confess whether it's your doubts or fears or like, you say you can't control your first thought, you control your second thought, and then feeling guilty about the first thought. Like it becomes this whole conundrum because it's like for example, if I pray, right, like I understand God already knows, but even confessing the truth, like, no, I'm scared right now, or I'm fearful right now, but feeling like that language is then shaping my beliefs. And so it just kind of really becomes like this mind bender on honesty, faith, and vulnerability.
And I love what you just said. Here's something that may help. All of us have a story of our life. And in every story, there's a victim, a villain, and a hero. So think about which part we're playing. When we have a limiting belief, we're actually playing the victim role of our life. And when we act on that belief, like, ooh, I can't do that, now we're playing the villain in our life story. Are you guys getting this? Because a victim is, oh, I can't do that. No, don't ask me to do that. A villain says, absolutely, you can't do that. Don't ever try to do that. But the hero says, I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. So which one do you choose to be? And at every crossroad, we need to decide victim, villain, or hero. And no matter what people have taught you, and this is something that has helped me in the past, is that a belief is a choice. A belief is a choice, and a belief is a very powerful narrator to the story of your life. Okay, Priyanka, you're up from Atlanta.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you for the opportunity. So regarding for the faith and belief, like faith is you are truly devoted to that thing, like God. You don't have any single doubt. You don't have a second thing to think about God. It's a faith, and belief is on yourself. How much you believe in yourself that you can thrive in this business. How you believe in yourself when you go on a listing appointment that you get that listing. And as you mentioned last call, you never leave any appointment without getting the listing. So that much of the limiting belief system you have in yourself that I am going to that appointment, I have to sign that listing on that day.
Yeah, you've got to have that strong belief. Yet, here's the thing, you can't just believe, you got to be prepared. I mean, you can believe you can go in and take it and work to strong arm people, and that doesn't work. So the belief with preparation of the right preparation come together. And that's what we're doing with sales mastery, giving the right preparation. Sometimes beliefs are so bad. Like, hey, as a child, I believed I could be Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman. And that was my hero that I was going after, right? I loved her lasso of truth. I loved how she wanted to help everybody. And so I got up on the roof And I had tied the rope to a tree down below, and I took the rope up with me, got on the roof, tied the rope around the chimney, and I was going to slide down the rope, right? Because those are things that like Wonder Woman would do, and she would come to the rescue, right? Well, my mother caught me just before I jumped off that roof. See, she knew a little bit more than me because she knew that if I jumped off that roof, gravity was going to outdo the belief that I thought about me being Wonder Woman. Thank goodness she was smart enough. Yet a lot of times people just go forward with their belief. I can do anything. I don't need anybody to show me how to do it. If my mother wouldn't harm myself. That's why I think having the right guides, the right coaches, the right mentors, all of that really does matter. I mean, to me, finding those right mentors, and I mean, Susan Scott from Fierce Conversations was one of my coaches. Don Yeager, who's written 13 New York Times bestsellers, one of my coaches. Matt Townsend, who's the guru of relationships, one of my mentors. John Maxwell, who's been my mentor, and at first he coached me, I mean, for 29 years for leadership. All these people I bring to people next year, actually, I'm bringing them so they can learn from them as I learned from them. Yet, who are your mentors? Who are you listening to? What have they done? Because a lot of people just tell you what other mentors have taught them. Yet, have they taken that and put it into action and actually have done something with that? See, we're entitled to our own belief. Yet we are not entitled to our own facts. And the fact is, we all need training, we all need mentoring, we all need coaching of some type. And for those of you, I couldn't believe last week when I said Tony and I were going to start coaching again, how many people have already reached out. Thank you so much. It literally made us feel like, wow, we are still needed and we're out there to help people. So CD, I don't know if your hand was raised or you were clapping. I wasn't sure you were clapping. Okay, because I know it's 9 o'clock and I have a deep respect for your investment of time and I don't take that lightly. I could stay on for hours because I love helping people move through, especially their limiting beliefs. And I want you to know that your two prominent sources of your belief are your upbringing and your experiences. This is why I brought Recharge to Keller Williams. I wanted to give people experiences. That's why I'm doing the mentorship program now, to bring people experiences to overcome a lot of those things from their upbringing, because I've met a lot of folks through consulting them, through coaching them, and those two are different, and through mentoring them, which is different again. So love to help you pick up the more and that limiting belief section, the chapter, it's one entire chapter on limiting beliefs. And it says, it's what you choose to believe that makes you the person you are. That came from Karen Marie Moaning. With that, thank you so much. I look forward to next Tuesday and all that we have. I do have a question for you, though. On August 18th, that is a Tuesday, how many of you will be at Mega Camp to where you will not be able to be on this call? The reason I'm asking is I'd love to still have the call. It's at 8:30, yet if you're there, you may not be able to participate. I get it. So put in the chat if can't make it. I just want to be respectful of everyone, yet if there's people that are going to show up, we'll do something there and maybe have some kind of a training that you can watch later. Yeah, lots of them are in Mega Camp. That's what I thought. And I'm so excited that you're going there to learn, and tell them about Tuesday Q&A. If anything, let's build this community because I believe you can help us. We're asking for your help, just like you ask for referrals. It is the blood of every business. It's what the heartbeat keeps going. Thank you so much. Appreciate each and every one of you. Love you. Chase, thanks for starting us out by taking what we were looking at and just changing the way we look at it. Okay. Be sure and call somebody and pour into them. And if you don't call them, find somebody even in a restaurant, maybe the server, and tell them how great they are. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for telling us that, Nicole. See, it takes a team to make things work, and we've got a great team here. We love you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.